Hello everyone, welcome to another video on our channel News Faster. We're back with more tributes. This video features a list of American big celebrities who died recently or within the last few days. Number 1. Ella Jenkins. Perhaps you grew up listening to one of Ella Jenkins's signature songs, such as You'll Sing a Song and I'll Sing a Song. After that, you might have performed her songs for your own kids. Known as the First Lady of Children's Music, Jenkins passed away at her Chicago home on Saturday. She was 100 years old. John Smith, associate director of her longtime record label, Smithsonian Folkways Recordings, announced her death. According to a statement from the company, she released 39 albums for Folkways throughout her nearly 70-year career. The church, the civil rights movement, and folk tradition were among the many sources of inspiration for Jenkins. When it boils down to it, music is simply about sharing what you love, she told NPR in 2013. Listen to it, and listen to it often, she said, no matter what you come across that you truly feel you really like. If you want to try to replicate or mimic, be sure that when you share it, someone else will find it lovely as well. She used a call and response format in several of her songs. I say something and you say it back to me. She got the idea from a somewhat surprising place. Jenkins was born on August 6, 1924, in St. Louis, Missouri. However, she and her family soon relocated to Chicago's South Side, where Cab Calloway was one of the most popular performers at the time. Additionally, in his well-known song Minnie the Moocher, the line Heidi, 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 Hi is a call and response. Then you'd say it back, ho-dee, 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 ho, Jenkins told ABC. I therefore began working on more than just his tunes. I also considered writing a few original songs. Youngsters pick things up quickly by copying and obeying their leaders, and they can eventually educate themselves. Growing up, Ashley Street Armont listened to Ella Jenkins. She currently performs as Jazzy Ash, a children's musician, and says Jenkins inspired and made her feel proud of her lineage, despite what she describes as a daunting history. African American music, or the Black music diaspora, is generally viewed in a very negative light, according to St. Armont. Although there is undoubtedly a negative side to Black history, I believe that all cultures should be honored. Ella Jenkins also honored all cultures. Kathy Fink, a Grammy-winning children's musician and Jenkins' friend, believes that Ella Jenkins' songs allow you to traverse the world with her. Ella traveled the world and performed all over the world, recalls Fink, and while doing so, she would pick up knowledge from everyone around her. She would either pick up new vocabulary or a tune from a different nation. What's your name and where are you from? Is the first thing she would ask a cab. She'll then ask, well, tell me about your country. She views every encounter as a chance to learn something new and form a friendship. She also imparted her knowledge to generations of educators, parents, and kids. Number 2. Linda Laflam. Linda Laflam passed away in Harrisonburg, Virginia on October 23, 2024. She was a member of the San Francisco band It's a Beautiful Day and co-wrote their hit song White Bird. According to a New York Times obituary, which was attributed to her daughter Kira Laflam Newman, she passed away at the age of 85 from vascular dementia. In April, Laflam, who played with the ensemble from 1967 to 1969, had a stroke. According to an official web obituary, she was known by her Hebrew name, Neska, but her full name was Linda Sue Rudman Laflam. Linda Laflam, who was then married to violinist David Laflam, the band's leader, played keyboards with It's a Beautiful Day. She only made an appearance on the band's 1969 Columbia Records' first album of the same name. The band's hallmark song, White Bird, which was composed by David and Linda Laflam and performed by David and vocalist Patti Santos, opened that album. White Bird was inspired by the experiences David and Linda Laflam had while living in Seattle, Washington, according to the Wikipedia article on It's a Beautiful Day. While performing and practicing at a Seattle location that was once known as the Encore Ballroom, the group members spent a few weeks in December 1967 living in the attic of an old house. Recently, Matthew Katz, the band's manager, took over the club and changed its name to San Francisco Sound. In a humorous reversal of the band's name, the song was partially influenced by the wet winter climate in Seattle. David Laflam, who passed away in 2023, is quoted in that same post as saying, "Where the white bird thing came from. In that attic, we felt like birds in cages. The weather was terrible, we had little money, and we had no way to get about. We were barely making ends meet with the meager food budget that was given to us. In a way, it was extremely creative, but it was quite an experience." In the US, the album peaked at number 47 on the Billboard charts. The single White Bird peaked at number 18 in the Trade magazine, but fell short of the Hot 100. But as time went on, its prominence as a symbol of the San Francisco psychedelic music scene increased. Matthew Katz, the band's manager, had previously worked with Moby Grape and Jefferson Airplane, whose tense connections with him resulted in lengthy legal problems that lasted for years. It's a Beautiful Day was not exempt. Per the Wikipedia article, Katz told them they weren't ready and prevented them from performing in San Francisco. The band were frustrated by Katz's attempts to manipulate their career, the article goes on to say. They started performing at a few clubs without his consent out of desperation. The band first started a long process of trying to disentangle themselves from Katz. The statement reads, David Laflam produced the group's first album, but by the time it was over, Linda Laflam had stopped being involved with the group and her marriage to David. She then founded two further bands, A Thought in Passing and Titus Mother, neither of which achieved widespread acclaim. Historical records became somewhat confused when a singer who had previously been known as Linda Baker and had married David Laflam joined the group's current lineup in 1997. She became the second Linda Laflam. She still sings for it now. On April 13, 1939, Linda Sue Rodman was born in St. Louis. Following her graduation from the University of Wisconsin in 1961, the classically trained keyboardist relocated to San Francisco. 2 years later, she met David Laflam, a violinist with classical training, and the two of them created It's a Beautiful Day in 1967. Number 3. Alan Mansfield. Alan Mansfield, keyboardist with renowned New Zealand band Dragon, has died. Mansfield, 72, passed away in Sydney on October 16th, surrounded by his family and his 40-year partner, musician Sharon O'Neill. He had been fighting cancer, but complications following his treatment caused him to pass away. I lost Alan, the love of my life, yesterday morning. I was with him, along with his daughter Lauren, and he went away quietly and calmly. O'Neill commented on Facebook, "Wife." Alan fought for 3 years, and even though he died of cancer, his poor body suffered from the side effects of his radiation therapy. He was courageous and daring, and his physicians and nurses adored him while being astounded by how long he fought the war. Mansfield, who was born in America, had a multi-decade career as a producer and musician. He played with the Australian-New Zealand rock group Dragon for 20 years and the Robert Palmer Band for 27 years. He co-wrote songs with Sharon O'Neill for the albums Danced into the Fire and Edge of Winter, as well as for Dragon and Robert Palmer. First visiting Australia in 1979 with her band, Mansfield collaborated with Bette Midler and played guitar on the Johnny and Mary single from Palmer's album Clues. In 1982, Mansfield moved to Australia. Once Mansfield joined the band, he met his partner Sharon O'Neill, who was opening on the Dragon Body and the Beat tour in 1984. Mansfield also created the hit single Rain. Mansfield, a multi-instrumentalist, received his degree from the Boston Conservatory of Music in the U.S. Mansfield got a Legacy Award with Dragon at the NZ Music Hall of Fame in 2011, and was inducted into the ARIA Hall of Fame in 2008 as a member of Dragon.